Welcome back to the Quiet Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Oden. And today we're talking about something that most introverts quietly struggle with. Often when there's this level up, whether it's going from boss to leader or advancing in your career or moving from employee to entrepreneur, stepping fully into being a solopreneur and what that looks like. Not because we lack depth, but because sometimes we just plain overthink. This podcast is a space for introverted leaders and entrepreneurs who want to grow their impact and grow their income without compromising their peace. And there's this scene in The Incredibles where Elastigirl tells Violet, doubt is a luxury we can't afford. You have more power than you realize. Don't think. And that line is not about being reckless. It's about being ready and not knowing that you're ready, but you're ready. So, in this episode, I'm going to break down why tools create structure and skills create certainty, and why introverts, especially when we take the skills and build safety, that safety builds motion, and that motion builds momentum. So, if you've been waiting to feel confident before you move, the goal of this episode is help you reset that thinking. Let's get into it, shall we? We shall. Welcome to the Quiet Impact Podcast, where we nurture the journey of introverts who desire to achieve greater levels of influence, income, and impact. The go-to podcast for introvert achievers just like you, seeking purpose-driven growth. I am your host, Stephanie Oden. Doubt is a luxury we cannot afford. I'm your host, Stephanie Oden, host of the Quiet Impact Podcast. So if you heard the introduction, I mentioned that scene in The Incredibles where Violet freezes. The plane has crashed. She could have saved it from crashing. She hesitated. She froze, not because she lacked her power. We're not shy. We're not timid. We're not needing to be fixed. We're an introvert, and is our superpower. Introverted AFF. Absolutely fabulous and feisty. Elastigirl told Violet, doubt is a luxury we can't afford. You have more power than you realize. Don't think. And the older I get, as I mentor others and coach others and help them go to their next level that they're wanting to get to, I see this. I see this in real life. Violet freezes, not because she lacks power, not because she isn't capable. She freezes because she has doubts. And her mom looks at her, and that's when she says that quote. So it's not about being reckless, it's about being ready. And especially if you are an introvert entrepreneur, that line is for you. Things are different now. You got this. You've got more power than you realize. And how can you be ready? Because most of us, we do not lack intelligence. We have a serious level of depth, and we don't lack capability. But yet, most often we hesitate. And where does that hesitation come from? Almost always it comes from overthinking without doing reps to back it up. I can overthink. Oh my gosh, the last time I picked up 10 pounds, I couldn't do it. But yet, really, I can, because all it takes is repetition. Let me say this plainly. Violet didn't need a motivational speech. She needed reps. Her confidence didn't save her. The reps did. That's what's going to save you. So the difference between people that hesitate and the people who move is rarely talent, it's skill. Because when you've done your reps, your hands move before your head can talk you out of it. That's why this matters. Tools create your structure, skills give you that certainty, and skills build that safety. And with that safety comes emotion, and with that motion comes momentum. Because we're wired for depth, we do like to think before we act. We are just good at that. We scan for the risk. Like a kid in the Knight Rider. We scan for risk and we want alignment. Those aren't weaknesses. It's not a weakness to think before we act. It's not a weakness to scan for risk. It's not a weakness to want alignment. But without developing the skills, those same strengths can turn around and hold you paralyzed. Let me separate this clearly. Tools are your structure. That is your system that holds your business together. Some things that you will need: a simple funnel builder, an email platform, somehow to process payments, some type of calendar link, a lead magnet, something to sell that you believe in. That's all in the bucket of being an entrepreneur. These things, they reduce friction. Like, imagine if you had to send out 100 emails individually. That's exhausting. That's just one example. These reduce friction, they reduce chaos, they reduce decision fatigue. And the tools actually, I have found for myself and those that I work with, when they have the tools, they calm the environment. When you're not worried about whether or not your email is going to go out, even if you send it out and it doesn't personalize it like it's supposed to, it sends it out. You don't have to worry about when you say you have something to deliver that to your customer, your potential customer, a lead magnet, and they run it through the funnel builder and you have your sequence set up. You don't have to worry about it. It happens because you got the tools to get you there. They get you ready. Your tools calm your environment, but the tools alone, they don't stop the doubt. That's where the skills come in. You can buy every platform. If you don't have the skill of writing, at least writing something, at least communicating with written email, you're not going to send an email. If you don't have the skill of having a sales conversation, you won't make an offer. And I'm not talking pushy. That's not how I learn to have sales conversations. My sales coach really talked about having authentic conversations on how I can meet a need. But if I had not invested in him as my coach, I wouldn't be able to make offers. And sometimes the offer is, let me refer you to somebody else because what I have is not the right fit for you. If you don't have the skill of regulating your nervous system, because sometimes it's on. If you don't have the skill of regulating your nervous system, you will disappear during your own launch. Your own launch will wear you out. So you can't blame the platform, right? You want to rely on the skill. And what's nice about it, and I have seen this in my experience, because I learned some key skills, I can go, the platform really doesn't matter. It's preference, it's price, it's feature. But because I've learned some basic skills, the platform doesn't really matter. What are some skills that kill hesitation, especially for us? Let's talk about some of them, especially if you're building online, not hype skills, but some foundational ones. Think about your writing. Writing is an advantage. And when you can clearly articulate what you do, who it's for and why it matters, you stop shrinking. Even if you bumble up, don't try to get it so polished that, you sound scriptical, but you should be able to communicate it clearly. When you have that clarity, you're not going to be stressed out about it. It's going to be conversational. When you leave, they're going to know who you help. The ability to listen. With sales, it requires being able to listen. We are typically exceptional at hearing what people actually mean. And when you trust your listening, you stop performing. You stop trying to over explain. You stop trying to over talk. You really lean in to what it is the person is saying. And that helps the other elements. Another thing that we do in terms of skill is seeing how your content connects to your email. So your email connects to your offer, and your offer, it connects to your income. So my content, my email, my offer, my income. That simple clarity, it reduces the risk in your mind. And I know there's times when the way I would do that seamlessly is typically my posts create a theme that drives my email, that drives my blog, that drives my posting on LinkedIn. That clarity reduces risk in my mind because I'm thinking about, okay, how is this going to serve my audience as a whole? And when I reduce the risk, that gives me more motion and more momentum. Now, this skill of emotional regulation, okay, launching something is going to trigger you, okay, if you're not used to doing it. Posting something will trigger you if you've not done it before. Charging money will trigger you. If it's not something that you build up the skill, if you've not done the reps, it will trigger you. If you build up the skill of staying steady while you're uncomfortable, doubt will lose its power. I promise you that. Post. Just post. The algorithm's going to do what the algorithm's going to do. You're doing the rep. Make offers. Accept money. That's pretty cool. Some will say yes, some will say no. Some you won't even make an offer to. Those are ways that you can regulate your emotions. Doing the reps. Repetition creates evidence. Evidence builds self-trust. Because for me, and for most of those that I coach with and work with, it's that self-trust. That's why I focus so much in the Quiet Impact Method on owning your power, knowing who you are, trusting you, trusting that you are equipped, you have a purpose, knowing what that is. Because when you have that self-trust, it silences hesitation. It's not saying that it's going to be perfect every time, but it silences the hesitation. You won't feel confident the first time you do it. You practice first. If I were to look back at some of my earlier videos, oh my gosh, like they are super, corporate-y, I think. I'm less off the cuff. I'm trying to be very focused and all of that. But over time, it's something that I'm able to show up more and more. The my authenticity comes out even more. You practice first. Violet didn't suddenly feel powerful. She used her force field again and again and again. Because what happens is the more you're in motion, the more that motion builds that belief, the more you start to trust yourself. And because we value safety, simplicity, and risk reduction, oh baby, without structure, that mind, boy, 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 it can spiral. And then without the skill, we our nervous system starts to freak out and it stalls. So then what happens? We over research, we over prepare, we overthink because thinking feels safer than moving. But doubt is a luxury and you no longer can afford it. You no longer can indulge in it because it becomes more and more expensive. The amount of time you spend doubting takes time away from you being able to serve the people that you're called to serve. So, tools create your structure, and skills create your certainty, and skills build safety. Safety builds motion. Motion builds momentum. When your environment is simple and you're starting to sharpen your skills, you don't need hype. As a matter of fact, you're plain boring, and boring is good. Boring makes money. You move because you know how. You move because you get to this level of almost like, okay, Stephanie, how do you do what you do? I don't know. I know that I've done the reps. So it's almost an unconscious competence. How do I start up a Zoom? Well, I've just started up Zooms so many times that I know how to start up Zoom. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Build until thinking is no longer required. Do the reps until you don't have to think about it. Now I don't get nervous when I post. I just post. Whoever is going to get is going to get it. Even when an email doesn't quite do what I expected it to do, I still send the email. Over time, your hands will know what to do before fear gets a chance to weigh in. And that's what doing the reps gets you. Your hands should know what to do before fear gets a vote. That's why I built the Quiet Impact Business Path. It's not just a community, it's not just tools, it's integration. Well, hold on a minute before I go there. I'm hoping that you're picking up some of what I'm throwing down. I want you to be at the point of where you're not hesitating, that you get doubt is a luxury you can no longer afford. Like you don't think. You have the power and realize like, okay, I do need the tools. Okay, got it. Okay. Now I need the skills and I need to practice those skills in a way that lets me to be in motion. Objects in motion stay in motion. I'm hoping you're able to pick that piece up. And so the Quiet Impact Business Path, that's something I created. It's not just community, it's not just tools, it's actually the integration of the two because inside the structure through the aligned systems and the tools that I use through the Home Business Academy, you also get the Introvert Achievers Network, where we sharpen the skills. We work on writing. We work on offer clarity. We work on sales conversations. We work on system thinking. We work on emotional steadiness. We work on integrating life with this thing we call leadership and this thing we call entrepreneurship, solopreneur. We work on those. Not noise. We're about doing the reps because confidence is not the goal. I want you to be confident, but I want you to be certain. And you build that certainty with the reps. If you're tired of shrinking, if you know you have more power than you're currently using, it's time to stop. Stop thinking and start sharpening and start doing your reps. Not everywhere, not loudly, but consistently. Because you have more power than you realize. Now let's build a skill so you know how to use it. Let's replace hesitation with repetition because the reps are what is going to save you. I know I want you to be confident, but the confidence is not going to save you. It's going to be the reps. My recommendation is get in a community where you can, if it's not the Quiet Impact Business Path, get in a community that allows you to integrate your tools and your skills, that you're supported for who you are as an introvert, where you have a podium, a seat at the table. Your coach is not going to let you shrink. Oh my gosh, we had the best mastermind recently. That's one of the things we do. We have a monthly mastermind. It's set up like Napoleon Hill. You bring in your ideas and your things you're struggling with, and the team collaboratively and works with you. Absolutely great success. I mean, one of the members 2 months ago was in a place that she really needed clients. She stayed in it. She kept coming to the mastermind. Well, she got 3 clients in 1 month. Huge, huge. Now you look at the journey. How did she get there? She started doing reps. She had the skill. She started using it. So that's what I want to share with you. I hope something from this episode is something that you could grab a hold to. And definitely, if you're ready to step into a next level in community and tools and that partnership, the Quiet Impact Business Path, that's the place to hang out with both the tools and the skills. You'll find the details in the show notes. Until next time, take care.